We have a ceiling.
This summer, so we put in place.
Has joined the meeting.
Okay. We have Gene, Steve, Mike, Ferris, Mary Faith, Kirk. I guess we have everybody then. Okay, we're back in session. We have, there was some discussion item on our agenda about a solar policy, discussion relating to a possible development of a solar policy. And because we have so many other things on the agenda, we're not going to be dealing with that at this meeting. We're going to push that off till the June meeting. So anybody that's on here that was planning on being involved in that, just want to let you know that we aren't going to be dealing with that today. Okay, so moving on to the agenda. We have number 4 on the agenda, which is to consider an inducement resolution relating to the B240 LLC phase.
Jay, may I interrupt 1 second?
Yep.
Did we do the minutes, both minutes, the May and the April, or we only did the April? I don't. Mark, can you?
No,
We tabled.
Mays.
we deferred.
Gotcha. Thank you. That's it. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So number 4, consider an inducement resolution relating to B240 LLC Phase 2 facility, granting preliminary approval.
Has left the meeting.
Financial assistance in the form of exemptions from sales tax, valued estimated at
Has left the meeting.
$598,993, but not to exceed $658,892. Exemptions from mortgage recording tax estimated at a value of $128,235, but not to exceed $141,058. And exemptions from real property tax, providing for fixed policy pilot payments, which is now for a 12-year period with a value of, Shauna, help?
Hold on, I gotta go to my PDF. 12 years, 1.374 million.
1.374 million dollars.
No, that's not correct, Dave, because you're supposed to put the benefit in there. That's the tax. So the benefit is $1,426,000.
$1,426,000
For pilot.
for the pilot 12-year pilot payment, which is a deviation from the agency's uniform tax exemption policy, and authorizing the agency to conduct a public hearing. Okay. Anybody have any comments on it? Steve, do you want to?
I'll move it.
Well, who moved it?
And I'll second it.
Okay, moved and seconded. Discussion. I want to indicate that the mayor is in the meeting and has, I think, some comments to make about this project. We have spent considerable amount of time reviewing the application and additional information that has been provided to us. And Jackie's been heavily involved in this, as has Steve. Steve has been instrumental in providing information on the benefits that are being proposed. Jackie has some input from the city and school district.
Thanks, Dave. The city's been very involved in the entire process of creating the pilot. There were many iterations of this. We think that this is a fair compromise at 12 years. I also, the county executive and the school district superintendent are in agreement as well. We feel this project is extremely beneficial to the further growth of the Griffiths Business and Technology Park and our ability to house our workforce in modern new market rate housing. We're creating a small community there, and we think it will only enhance the park. We know we have hundreds of jobs coming to the park over the next few years. And so we can't ignore this, and we are happy to support the Bonaccio proposal to move along with phase 2.
10:30.
Thank you,
We
Kate.
also have Kate from Bonaccio on the call.
Hello, Kate.
Ferris, you got to mute.
I keep muting you, Ferris, and you keep unmuting yourself. Stay muted.
You need, yeah, okay, you're okay, Ferris, now.
Wait, is red mute and gray is on, right?
Yes,
Right.
correct.
You're
My
muted
wife's
now.
talking about a flyover that's coming from McDill Air Force
Has
Base,
left
so
the
I'm
meeting.
sorry.
Okay.
Attacked?
All right. Kate, I know that you were planning on making a presentation to the board. And do you have anything that you want to, I don't think we need that information right now, but do you have anything you want to add to what the mayor said? You need to unmute yourself. No, you're still muted.
Am I good?
You're still muted.
No, you're good. She's got a call in.
What?
She's got a call in. Kate, you're good.
Okay. I just want to say I appreciate the mayor's, the school district, and the board's support of this project. Obviously, timing is everything, so we look forward to moving forward.
Okay. Steve, anything to add?
No, nothing new.
Okay. So I'd like to say that I am very much in support of the project. I think it's a great thing for the county, the city, and the base. I do believe that the benefit goes on for too long a period of time. I would have preferred if we had stayed with our housing policy on this one. I think that was a very generous benefit. I think there's a potential for unnecessary benefit here, but I'm going to vote for it because I support the concept of the base housing.
Okay, anybody else have any comments? I'll make one. I always do. I'm not afraid to talk. I think that we ought to be glad that we have a developer who has produced already phase 1 on this. I've driven by it and I'm amazed that they were able to work through most of the winter, and it's really amazing how far they've gone. And they have a commitment to produce a similar project nearby. And with all of the new companies that that Steve has been able to attract to the base, to the park, and some that are still trying to bring people here, I think this project enhances the ability of our employers to provide decent housing close by in a very nice environmental setting, which will permit these employers to get the kind of employees that they need to have to do the work that they have to do. And on the other side, without these projects, we really don't in Rome have any space or apartments or complexes that would meet those kinds of needs of the employees. So I'm pleased that a company like this is willing to invest in a project of approximately $21 million and provide housing, and very nice housing and some commercial space to support that housing right on the park. So I'm going to be voting in favor of this. Does anybody else have any comments?
Dave, this is Steve Zogby. I agree. I think it's a great project as well, and an important project for the county and for Rome. I also do, along with Mike, agree that I would prefer that this would be on our normal housing pilot, and that's what we set it up for. When we did it, we took all these items that are this project is about and put it into our project, so it would score a high number and get the most benefit. But given the fact that the county, the school district, and the city are in favor, and I'll also vote for it.
This is Gene. I agree. I agree wholeheartedly that given the experience with Rome and the school district and the city, and the need for more housing development, plus the fact you've got an outside developer with credibility, I think we should move forward with this project.
Anybody else? If not, are we prepared to vote? Did somebody say they wanted to say something? Okay. All right, so I'll call the vote. All those in favor of the project as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Who was opposed? Was anybody opposed? Okay. Any abstentions? If none, and then it passed. It passes. And so, good luck, Kate, on that. That's we hope you can build some more if you can.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, moving on in the agenda, we still have to do a seeker resolution, which is number 5 on the agenda, relating to this facility, based upon the Part 1 environmental assessment form submitted by the company and the determination and resolutions of the City of Rome Planning Board, of which you've got a copy of. The agency has determined that the agency needs to determine that the project is an unlisted project.
I'll move it.
Move it.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Carried.
That's Steve and Ferris, or Ferris and Steve?
Either way.
I seconded it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Refer to Ferris. She's older than me.
And in the future, so more to come on those things.
Who was that? Okay. This is so confusing. All right, so we've handled that. We'll move on to the next item on the agenda, which is number 6, to consider an inducement resolution relating to 63 Works Avenue, LLC, Empire Recycling Facility, granting preliminary approval for financial assistance in the form of exemptions from sales tax, which has a value estimated at $61,478, but not to exceed $57,645. And exemptions from real property tax, providing for pilot payments for 10 years, valued estimated at $90,000, which is a deviation from the agency's uniform tax exemption policy, and authorizing the agency to conduct a public hearing.
Dave, I'm gonna, the firm that I used to be a partner in has a long association with some of the principals here, and I still do consulting work for them, so I'm gonna opt out of this for conflict of interest. So I'm gonna mute myself out and video myself out until this is over.
Okay.
Dave, I'll move the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion on the motion?
Yep, I just want to clarify the pilot and how we came up to that value. We used a similar model that we used for Polsey, where we took the current value and then also the estimated value upon completion of the assessment. So we had a $180,000 to go in with the current assessment. We assumed that the project would double to $360,000 in assessment. We then applied for a 5-year increase of the 180 to 240 for the first 5 years, and then to 300,000 for the second 5 years. And in year 11, they'd be at the 360, or what is the assessment?
Okay.
And it's an industrial pilot.
Okay. All right, any discussion, any questions on that?
We held the public hearing. The school district did send in a letter opposing the pilot, just so people are aware. I think there was somebody on from the school district, so I just make note of that.
Everybody saw a copy of that letter from the school district, I assume?
Is there no mortgage going to be on this building? Did I understand that to be correct?
That's what it appears from the request. Is that
Steve.
correct, Shauna?
Steve, there is no mortgage, correct?
Correct. Okay.
I'm sorry, did I miss the letter from the school district? Where is that?
Are you on Empire Recycling or ECR?
Empire Recycling.
Fire
Letter
recycling.
from the school district was for ECR.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Could you mute Kirk?
Sorry.
That's all right.
Remove that mark
wanted
in the
to make
minutes.
sure. Thank you.
Confusing my projects here.
So on this project, we've had no communication from the school.
Correct, and we have not
Okay.
had a public hearing yet. I'm jumping ahead here.
Any questions, further questions?
I have one question for Steve, okay? When I drive down Wirtz Ave before I came down here to Florida, it doesn't look like there's any activity anymore like there used to be in the recycling on that corner spot. Is that where the building's going to be, the new building's going to be? You know, Wirtz Ave makes a left and you go to the right to the sewage treatment plant?
Right. No, that was a different company. That was Utica Alloys. We don't have anything to do with that. This facility that we are will be constructing is, if you go down, whereas they have just passed the city DPW there, and just before midway between that and the Utica Transit Authority bus garage, there's a left-hand turn called Railroad Street. Right. And you take a left on that Railroad Street, go down about 200, maybe 100 to 200 yards, and that's where our facility is. It's not even on Wirtz Ave. It's hidden.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? If not, prepared, you can unmute to vote. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? And we have one who did not participate, Mark. Make sure you note that in the minute. Okay, Carrie? We have a seeker resolution. Consider a seeker resolution relating to the same project based upon the Part 1 environmental assessment form submitted by the company and the determination and resolutions adopted by the lead agency, the City of Utica Planning Board. The resolution determines that the project is an unlisted action. And so can we have a motion to approve that resolution?
I'll move it. Steve.
Moved by, seconded by Ferris. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Even though, Kirk, we couldn't hear you, that's okay. I saw your mouth move.
I was too quick to mute after your reprimand.
Okay. Okay, we have one item on the agenda, old business.
Wait, Steve.
It's we have a number of items. But number 8 on the agenda is to consider a final authorizing resolution relating to the ECR International Inc. facility, approving financial assistance in the form of exemptions from sales tax with a value estimated at $223,388, not to exceed $245,727, and exemptions from real property taxes for a period of 10 years, during which time the company will make fixed pilot payments with a value of an abatement estimated at $519,598, which financial assistance is a deviation from the agency's uniform tax exemption policy. and authorizing the form and execution of related documents, all in the agency's customary form, subject to council review. We conducted a public hearing on May 12th and sent deviation notices to the taxing jurisdiction on May 11th. Okay. Do we have a motion to approve that resolution?
Move it.
Moved by Mary Kay.
And I'll second it, Dave.
Okay, seconded from Gene. Any discussion?
Was there someone from the school district on?
Yes.
Somebody from the school district on in the meeting?
Michelle Albanese should be.
Michelle was, but I don't see her on the list anymore.
Okay. We did get did we get a notice on this one or not?
The letter?
Yes, you got a letter.
Okay,
This is, I confused the two. This is the one.
Dated May 14th,
okay.
signed by Michelle Albanese.
Right. On ECR.
Are they opposed?
Yes.
All right, I don't think I did see that, but
Shauna, can you just refresh us on this? That they're in a pilot right now, and what percentage they're at, and what the change is?
They are currently at paying 2/3 of their taxes, and this would continue for the 10-year period at 2/3.
And how far into the 2/3 are they? And how many years they got to go at 2/3?
This is the last year.
Okay, so it's extending the current tax for another 10 years.
Yes.
So as opposed to the letter she sent, the school district isn't actually losing money, correct?
Correct. I mean, their thought process would be is that they would not get that 21,000 this coming school year.
any other questions? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And Mike-
Aye, sorry.
Okay. Any opposition? If none, it passes.
Jen, can you do us a favor? Can you take, and maybe it's just our screen, Kate has a call in and a video still. Can you close that so I can see who the other three people are that are called in?
Yep.
Thank you, sorry.
See 3 called in?
Yes, see the number by Mark Coucher?
Has left the
3 +
meeting.
3.
You should be good.
Okay, so the next item on the agenda is
So Jennifer, who's called, who is on the phone now? All I see is there's 4 people on the phone.
Linda, Laura, Mark, and Jenna.
okay. All right, so number 9 on the agenda is a request from MGS Manufacturing for sales tax exemption extension. As I previously indicated, I need to opt out of discussion and appearance on that, and I will mute myself, and I will also get off video and get back on when you're done. So,
Me too.
Mike, take it
Me
over.
too. Me too. No, I got to get off too.
All right, Mary Faith, can you take over?
She's got to be unmuted. Go ahead, Mary Faye.
Okay, yeah, I have to open it up. I don't have the actual thing.
You want me, I'll go through it quick for you.
Lovely.
They currently, under their project, have $265,000 of anticipated purchases for sales tax exemption. So far, they've only spent $55,000 on purchases related to the initial exemption. They don't anticipate exceeding the agreed to 265 that we already passed, but they do want to add in the expense in the purchase of a new condensing unit for their HVAC system, which is about $30,000. So they want to put that into the project where it wasn't there before.
And it's replacing other stuff that they're not buying.
That they are not going to anticipate spending on.
Okay.
Are they required to, I mean, I guess I don't understand why they have to, if it's inclusive of the 265, why they have to specify that out.
So it wasn't that included in the application, Steve. It was an unanticipated expense they've run into. And that they know they need, because as they did the expansion, the current cooling system is not satisfying the load. And Mark and I, having gone through that state audit, are very sensitive that items be included and listed in the application or authorized by this board that weren't before.
So it wasn't just a general, when they did the application, it wasn't just a general, here's what we're going to spend to upgrade. This was separate of that?
No, what we do is we require them to be as specific as possible in case there is that tax audit.
I'll move it.
Second.
Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We have 2 abstaining.
Choking, sucking in my own seal.
You're safe, go home.
Did you hear about the guy who wore the mask driving and passed out?
Okay, thank you, Mary Faye. All right, do we have anything more come before the meeting?
The only thing is, if the town of Trenton's going to get back to us in writing, Shauna, could you call Smith and specifically say to him that to please make it clear as to whether the town is against the project or is just against a tax abatement of the project? That's all, Dave. I just wanted to make sure we got clarification of that.
I think it would be helpful to ask the school district its position on it too.
Yeah, good idea.
Anything else to come before the meeting? This is fun, right? This is all fun. All right, so we have a motion to adjourn.
I'll move it with one question.
You can't. You either have to move it or you have to ask the question first.
All right, I'll ask the question. Are we still meeting like this next month? Are we going to continue with the 15th being the opening of New York State? You're shaking your head, Jen. Does that mean?
No, the 15th was only phase 1. That's manufacturing, construction, and retail. Professional services, like we assume us, be falling in phase 2. So far, they have not provided any guidance on any changes to open meetings law and for that. So.
Ferris, you're coming back from Florida, so you got to quarantine for about 6 months.
Yeah.
My guess is that we will probably be able to have an in-person meeting, but it would probably involve social distancing. So we probably have to have somebody think about that. Maybe it's in June. Maybe we can meet outside somewhere.
I was going to suggest Ferris things in a parking lot.
Thanks, Gene. Because actually the board meeting's not big enough to put us all in it and social distance.
Is there anybody on the base that's got like a little theater type thing? Because I know in Utica, some of the organizations are talking about using Munson Williams Theater, which seats about 150, and he gets plenty of social distancing in there. So
we might be able to do that, guy.
The problem with that, though, is that your meetings have to be recorded. So we'd have to figure out the technology in terms of making sure that they're recorded and all of that stuff.
Based on our regional control group meeting last night, I wouldn't plan on you moving out of this anytime soon.
Well, thank you, Jen.
I figured I'd let somebody else say it.
So I said it. There you go.
You can be our spokesperson, though, at these meetings and tell them we want to be able to meet in person.
Well, let me tell you something. Until we get the direction, nothing moves. So we were pretty much told last night that every sector is not phased and there are no guidance. So we don't even know what professional offices means now in phase 2. So It's still all up in the air.
So City Hall will still stay closed?
City Hall is going to stay closed for probably the rest of the summer. I don't see City Hall opening, and when we do open, it will be on a limited basis. We're changing the whole public flow there, and we're going to have to think about public meetings because the council chambers do not set up well at all for the social distancing. So we've got a lot to think about.
Mayor made an excuse to get rid of the council.
Hey, Mayor.
I'll move it.
Hey, Mayor, you're drinking orange juice. You put in any orange juice today?
No, it's straight.
I'll move it.
All right. Well, thanks, Jackie, for being part of this. And
Thank you.
and we'll vote. We need to vote on the motion to adjourn. All in
Oh, you got
favor?
to have a second first.
I'll second it. I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye. I'm going for a walk
All
on the
right.
beach, guys. Have a good.
Thanks, Jay.